I swear I'll get through this one day. I'll get through this video one day. My housemates have decided right now is the best time ever to just make as much noise as possible and walk in and out and decide to mow the lawn. And yeah, it was so quiet the whole day, and now as soon as I start filming... Anyway. Hi everyone, I'm Gia. Welcome to my channel. On this channel we talk about things like minimalism, frugal living and things of that nature. So if that sounds good to you, consider subscribing, liking the video, and yeah, just sit back and enjoy. So today I want to talk about healthy eating on a budget, because the food prices at the moment are absolutely astronomical and everyone is having trouble getting by at the moment. You just look around and everyone is just cutting costs to be able to afford a roof over their head, feed their families, and just survive at this point. It's getting absolutely insane. So I'm going to give you a rundown of some things that I personally do where I'm able to eat healthy and still be able to afford it. So everyone's diet is completely different, and what works for me may not work for you. But for me personally, I've gone sugar-free and I try to eat as much whole foods as possible. For you, it might be something completely different, but these are tips and tricks that I personally use and that really help me with my weekly shop. I'm going to take this from a sugar-free, low-sugar kind of perspective. So basically, just whole foods, healthy foods, things that kind of grow in the ground on trees, that sort of a thing. I'll just give you a rundown on the stuff that I buy and how I like to do my shopping. So first of all, I like to compare prices in the different stores, because what one store may price something at, another store might price something half price even. So if you are able to shop around and compare prices and it's not costing you too much in like fuel money or anything like that, what I like to do is online shop and then get it delivered. At a low, in Australia we're very fortunate in that we are able to pay pretty low cost. What I shop at usually is a $2 delivery window. It's like a 6-hour window or something like that, and you get it delivered within that time period. It's only $2, so I'm able to like just book my my time slot online and order my food that way. So I can like shop around and see what the cost is, what the ingredients are, which is very important for me as I am sugar-free, so I need to be able to check everything, and it's much simpler than just standing in a grocery aisle and having to check the backs of every single can and feeling a little bit awkward doing so. So for me, shopping around, comparing prices at different stores can be a big money saver. Something else I like to do is to shop the reduced section. Most grocery stores will have a reduced bin or something like that, something along those lines. And I like to see prices that have been marked down, shop specials, that sort of a thing. But even today, like I was just walking back from the post office because I, posting something off, and I just went to the reduced section at my little local corner grocery store, and I just got a bunch of fruit for like $4. It was all reduced. It was all, pretty ripe, getting there, but it's still perfectly edible. And I can still put, the veggies that I got in like cooking or something if they're looking a little bit sad, as long as they're not moldy or off or anything like that. If they're like a little bit bruised or a little bit like a little bit of an older sort of fruit or veg, like they're still perfectly usable. Just use them up as quick as possible or freeze them, or you can just save so much money doing it that way because it's not the bright shiny big fruit and veg, you know what I mean? So that is something else I like to do. Another thing I like to do is to buy frozen where possible. Normally when you bulk buy fruit and veg, it is generally cheaper to buy in bulk. So like the 1 kilo bags, the 2 kilo bags, whatever is sort of selling at that price frozen, and then comparing it to fresh. So just kind of comparing the weights to the fresh and the frozen produce can really make a big difference. So some things like beans or something, beans and peas, that is usually cheaper to buy frozen. There are other things that are not cheaper to buy frozen. It depends what it is. I find mixed veg at the moment, depending again what it is kind of getting more expensive than just a set bag of a specific vegetable. So yeah, you need to just kind of shop around and just see what the prices are, and if it is cheaper to buy fresh or if it is cheaper to buy frozen. And then stores will also do specials and things of that nature, so sometimes it will be cheaper to buy a fresh over a frozen product. But yeah, it's worth looking around. And of course, following into that is to shop the specials. Every time I do my grocery shop, the first thing I look at is what is on special. Of course, don't just buy for the sake of buying. Don't just buy something because it's on special. Make sure it is something that you are going to use and something that is going to fit into your dietary requirements and yeah, your lifestyle in general. So if you're trying to eat healthier, you know, check what fruit and veg is on special, nuts and seeds, breads, grains, whatever your diet is, just keep an eye out for what specials are on that week. Kind of also following into that is to be creative. Sometimes I'll see something where it is a bit cheaper, but I've never tried it. And normally I'm a creature of habit. I'll buy the same rotation of things over and over again because I know what to expect, basically. But sometimes if something is a really good price and it is a healthy product, fruit, veg, you know, that sort of thing, it's worth giving it a try. Like, maybe your new favourite thing, you don't know. So it is a good price and you can see yourself incorporating that into your diet throughout the week. Then yeah, give it a go. Who knows, you could have a new favourite food and you didn't even know it until you try it. So yeah, get creative, try new things. It's also smart to shop seasonally, because what happens is fruit and veg will fluctuate in price depending on if it's in season at that particular time, and generally if it is, it will be a lot cheaper and a lot nicer. You know, when you try to buy like a tropical fruit when it's over winter and it is just like so tough and flavourless, and it's just, you can just tell it's just been, yeah, it wasn't the season for it. If you shop seasonal, you're going to get the best price and you're going to get the best product. If there is a specific fruit and veg that you do want that is out of season, generally frozen is the way to go, because that will have generally been frozen in the peak period and retain its freshness and that really good taste when it's frozen. So that is another hack. If you want something that is out of season, frozen is a generally good way to go about it. But yeah, shop seasonally. The food will be better for you, it'll be tastier, it'll be juicier, it'll just be all round just a better product. Another good way to shop on a budget is to buy canned. So I need to look at the backs of cans now because I don't want the sugar or the excessive amount of sodium or anything like that. So look at the backs of cans, see what you can get relatively cheap, because canned is generally the cheaper option. Make sure there's no hidden nasties, make sure it's a pretty basic ingredient list with just a few things, which is generally going to be a lot better for you. But canned is usually, yeah, way cheaper. So things like beans, legumes, that sort of a thing, brilliant way to go with that. Same with canned meats. I love fish, I love tuna, salmon, that sort of a thing, and it is so much cheaper to buy that in cans than it is to buy it fresh, because as we know, meat is astronomically high, and canned still tastes really good. It may not have the aesthetic appeal of like a lovely, you know, slice of salmon or something like that, because it's all just jammed in a can, but it still tastes bloody amazing. So, and it's still got the same, you know, benefits. I like to buy cheaper cuts of meat if it's not like a fish or something like that. So chicken is generally still one of the cheaper options to buy, like a fresh cut of meat. I like to do like chicken drumsticks or chicken wings or something, buy a big value bag of that. That costs about $8 here in Australia for like 2 kilos, and like that will last easily last the week. It may not be the best, you know, piece of chicken or something like that, but you are still getting the benefits of that particular meat. Or things like buying the less appealing cuts of like beef or lamb and then slow cooking it so it becomes a lot more tender. So the cheaper cuts can still be really good if you know how to cook them correctly and how to season them, flavour them, all that sort of thing. So just look at the specials again for meats, and look at the cuts of meat you wouldn't normally look at. and just kind of consider, like, what could you actually do with them? Because there is a lot you can do, and you can save a lot of money on meat doing it that way. And also you can consider having meat-free nights. I try to do that every single week, have multiple days where it's just like a vegetarian meal, or vegetarian day sort of a thing, and just, you know, making recipes with like chickpeas, legumes, lentils, you know, just, yeah, creative ways around the meat situation, so you're not spending a fortune on meat every single week. So you can still have your little treats of meat and all that, and your meat days and all that, but also having your vegetarian days where you are saving so much money because you're not eating meat every day, because meat is so expensive. Also make sure that you are meal prepping ahead of time. So write your grocery list, write the meals you want to prepare for that week, have them all ready to go, so you're not buying items you don't need and that's just going to sit in the fridge and just spoil. So make sure you know what you want to make sure you've got all the ingredients for that, and just, yeah, plan ahead of time. It's going to save you money in the long run, and it's also going to save food spoilage. Something else I like to do is to buy home brand wherever possible, and sometimes that may not always be possible, particularly if you are on a specific diet and certain ingredients within the home brand products are not up to scratch with what you are wanting to eat. But in that case, then go to the next lower priced item and just kind of price compare until you get the ingredient list that you're after. So check the backs of everything. That's, yeah, best advice I can have is check the backs of the ingredients, check the sodium, check the sugar, check the, just, yeah, because you'll be surprised how much stuff they can just cram into food and just make a potentially, you know, an innocent sounding product incredibly unhealthy, and you wouldn't even know unless you look at the back. Like, the, oh my god, like, since going sugar free, I am just gobsmacked how much sugar is in the most, like, you wouldn't pick it, like, you genuinely would not think that they would put sugar in this specific food or this specific food. Oh my god, it's just blowing my mind. So I'm, yeah, hyper aware now of how much sugar we eat every single day as people. It is insane, and they just use it as bulk and filler because it's cheap for them to make it. And it's a mess though. The system's a mess, it's crazy. But yeah, check the backs of things and, yeah, price compare that way. Alright, we're just gonna have to film over the sound of the lawn mowing. Sorry if that bugs you, it's bugging me too. But otherwise I'll never get this shot. So, something else I highly recommend is to start your own garden. Have your own veggie plot, have something growing at all times, whether that be herbs, fruit, veg. It is so fulfilling to be able to just go into your own little veggie garden, take care of it, and just watch everything grow and eventually be able to eat everything. It is such a wonderful feeling, and it's so good for your soul as well. Not just your health, your soul too. It's fantastic. I've only just kind of started out doing it last year, and I've just absolutely loved it. I'm not the best at it, I don't have a green thumb yet, but I'm getting there. So yeah, it's just a wonderful life skill to be able to possess, be able to grow fruit and veg. It's basically, yeah, it's wonderful when you save money doing that too. A packet of seeds is super cheap, and yeah, all you really need to do is invest your time, and yeah, you'll have some wonderful produce growing at all times. So definitely something to consider doing. Something else I love to do is to batch cook and freeze. The freezer is my best friend. If I don't feel like cooking a particular night, then I know I have things already in the freezer, ready to go, take out and reheat. It is so simple. So I like to make big batches of things, and with the leftovers, yeah, just chuck them in the freezer. I have the fridge freezer in my kitchen, and then I also have just a freezer in my garage. And I think, for me personally, paying a bit more electricity to keep them both running is worth it to me, because I'm saving so much on food costs in the long run by just being able to make a lot of food and freeze it to keep it from spoiling. That to me is worth it. So definitely something to consider. Yeah, very helpful and saves you time in the long run if you don't particularly feel like cooking, because sometimes You just don't. It's easy just to grab something out of the freezer, reheat it, eat it. Those are my tips and tricks for eating healthy on a budget. If you have any more, leave them down in the comments. It's always wonderful to learn new ways of doing things, saving money, eating healthier, all that sort of thing. It's just fantastic. So thank you so much for watching if you've gotten this far, and I hope you've learned something. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you would like to like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. It really helps me out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!